National security briefings on this. This matter and this man have taken up an extraordinary amount of time and attention of close to 3 full presidential terms, certainly the presidencies of the last 2 American presidents. What you're looking at now, again, if you're just tuning in, is a spontaneous gathering, Lafayette Park across the street from the White House. We know of one other in a very important hallowed ground here in New York, and that is 9/11, Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan. Sporting events have been interrupted with the news. Family gatherings have been interrupted. Family members texting and calling and emailing each other with the news from Pakistan. Osama bin Laden killed by U.S. Special Forces, his body retrieved off the battlefield. As the world reacts, Atia Abawi, normally stationed in Afghanistan for us, is tonight in our NBC News London Bureau, sampling what people are saying about this and where. Atia?
Well, Brian, I think this is going to be greeted, especially with the heads of states, with a positive reaction. I think that with the body of Osama bin Laden and actually giving proof to the people, primarily in the Muslim and Arab world, as well as South Asia, including Afghanistan and Pakistan, that's going to be a big deal. They need to see that evidence. They want to see the body. But in the end, this is going to have a strong effect when it comes to the war in Afghanistan. I mentioned earlier about the psychological impact. Whichever side feels that they're winning will in the end win. That's according to the coin strategy that was implemented in Afghanistan. And this is going to be a big boost in morale for our troops on the ground in Afghanistan. We should also expect to see fighting increase. This is going to be a big, deep impact on the insurgency in Afghanistan, who don't take orders from Osama bin Laden or Al-Qaeda for that matter, but they're going to try to prove themselves. And what they're going to try to do is step up their attacks in these areas, whether it be Afghanistan and Pakistan and possibly in other countries, possibly even in the West. So I think security will be stepped up in various places. It's going to be interesting to see how the people will react as soon as the news does spread, especially in Afghanistan and Pakistan. This news spreads a bit slower there than it does in America, but it will have a big effect when it comes to the war in Afghanistan, primarily with a psychological impact.
Atia Abawi in our London Bureau, thank you for that. Let's go back to the White House, a busy place tonight. Chief White House Correspondent Chuck Todd. And Chuck, again, folks are tuning in across the country for this. The president addressed the nation from the East Room just over an hour after the first posted time. We were told to expect him. They were doing notifications throughout Congress and around the world. What was the first time tonight you got an indication that this was going to be, shall we say, a busier than average Sunday night?
Well, I got a quick email from one of the press officials here at the White House that just said, this is going to be big. Can't quite tell you what it is, but frankly, use 3 initials, BFD. Get down here and get down here quickly. And then, of course, word came out that the president wanted to address the nation, and he told the networks to try to ramp up on the technology front. And we know that the president had chaired 5 of these meetings over the last 6 weeks, gave the final order on Friday night. And Brian, I'm always, you think he gave that order on Friday night, and then he has to go about doing some of these ceremonial duties like the White House Correspondents' Dinner and give a stand-up routine. Just 12 hours earlier, apparently he had given the order to go take bin Laden out and get him, which of course turned out to be successful. So sometimes it is odd to just put together the pieces and the different moments that a president has to deal with at any given time. One other thing to keep in mind, Brian, we're about 2 months away when we're supposed to see the first troops begin to withdraw from the war in Afghanistan. And symbolically, the war in Afghanistan was